Hello everyone. This is part 2 of the video series I just started today that has to do with a coup, a major coup, a major global coup being in effect as we go through this production, as we are connecting. It's not only about COVID-19. It's much more than that. Okay, I have been trying to find these articles that I have been marking, and there are certain things that seem or look like they are good developments, positive developments, good news. I'm saying could be. I'm not saying they are, because what's going to come after this, or whether some of these signs towards positive developments actually coming true, totally depends on us, we, the people. Okay, here one example of it is what took place with President Trump. Finally, after getting so much pressure from certain faction or factions of his supporters on, Mr. President, get up and do something, because we are being silenced. We are being censored, whether it is through social media platforms such as, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. This is escalating to a point unprecedented. And Mr. President, please do something, okay? Obviously, they have been doing it a lot, and I'm so glad. Thank you all for doing it, and not being so jaded saying, oh, well, you know what, nobody's going to do anything. A lot of people, maybe including this president, they're all about talk, yak, but when it comes to action, nothing, zilch, okay? I'm glad you have been on top of this. You have been pushing and pressing. Obviously, you have been effective. And we have this announcement by the president saying, I am going to challenge this, because we have a lot of weapons, tools, laws within our disposal to go and challenge this. More than half a century ago, they came up in this country. We came up with these anti-monopoly laws, okay? And they were good. They were meant to be good stuff. But you know what? In practice, we haven't used it. It's like our constitutional rights. We have amazing level of rights in this country, but we don't exercise it. We don't demand to continue having these rights. And guess what? When we are so lazy ass about it and do nothing, don't demand it, they're not going to do anything to make it have it be in practice, okay? So they challenge it. Look at that, Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of the United States. I have been there, guys. I don't know how many of you have been there. I took my First Amendment case against the George W. Bush administration, including the Justice Department, FBI, the State Department, etc., to court. Now, trying to do that brought this reaction, because they didn't want the public to know what I knew. So they placed gag orders, and they said my entire case is a state secrets privilege. It can't proceed in courts. Go and read it, okay? I don't want to spend the time and talk about 19 years ago and 7-8 years of battling it all the way up to the Supreme Court, okay? Kangaroo Court, Supreme Court. I mean, come on. I know it's pretty. I know in theory it's great. It was meant to be great. But of course, in the past several decades, they made sure people sitting and occupying those benches are all part of the same cabal. And that includes the Supreme Court. Think of all the presidents that we have had, and some of them getting to appoint 1 or 2 of those people. I mean, come on, what do you expect? I mean, really? I know when you go to universities, I have a master's degree in public policy, and in theory, it sounds so magnificent. Okay, well, in this country, if they really place our constitutional rights, our freedom, what is guaranteed under Constitution, if they threaten it, we can go to Congress and have them stand up for it. Well, let's go and find on the record and see let's say since 9/11, if you can find one case, one single case, even if it's a tiny, miny, mini, mighty mo case, where the Congress actually stood up for the people, okay? Whether it's on the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, right? You will not find any, because those seats in that Congress, the United States Congress, the main one, the central one, is occupied by the charlatans and the crooks and the pedophiles and the foreign agents. We all know it, but guess what? Something happens along the way, because we the people, I haven't been voting for any of them, okay, that's a different topic, we go and elect them, knowing that they are the crooks and the charlatans and the pedophiles and the foreign agents and the nutcases, okay? Pocketed people. But we know that Congress has not done anything. And it will not do anything. Don't place your hope on Congress, because all you have to do, look at the Congress, the US Congress track record. Well, the same thing is true with the Supreme Court. Go and find out when really the Supreme Court of the United States stood up for the right of the common people in this country, whether it's on their First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 10th Amendment, 8th Amendment. Just go and see. You're really not going to find much. With NSA's illegal surveillance, you know how many times it's been taken before the courts and the federal courts and all the way up there? Nothing. Nothing has happened, okay? They won't touch, and even if they touch, they will make sure they turn it and use it against the Constitution. So the reason I'm saying this is, yes, good people, the people who are part of this one-third resistance, they have been pressuring their president and saying, do something about it. And the president, this is President Trump, has come out and said, enough is enough. I promise you, I'm going to take these guys to court. I'm going to challenge it. Now, whether this stays only in words, not in action, because we have had cases like this, okay? I don't care if you're pro-president, currently anti-president, but we have had President Trump come out and say, yes, I'm for mandatory vaccination. In fact, I'm going to deploy our military, maybe with tanks and cannons, go to door, drag you, and then vaccinate you, okay? Now that in action, saying that, or actually in words, we're gonna see how he's gonna translate it into action, but what I'm trying to say, getting the president to come and do this, which is a good thing. In fact, I just saw this article here, I know I'm jumping around, but the topic remains the same. Just bear with me. I just saw this editorial by an author there saying, hit them ever harder, Mr. President. The tyranny of big tech is the biggest threat to democracy in our lifetime. He's right. It's a coup. They are currently, in the past 4 months, been implementing a coup, global coup, with the epicenter here. They are the biggest threat to our democracy. They are the biggest threat to our humanity. Forget about our liberties right now, even to our humanity as human. It's the technocrats, okay? They're even challenging the president, saying, you're nothing. In the greater scheme of things, we rule the world now. We the Google, we the Facebook, we the YouTube, we the Twitter. We rule the world now. That's profound. So people writing these articles, that's nice, that's good, but we need to do more than that. We have to keep up the fight, resistance, the pressure to go way beyond this. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Even if, let's say, because I have been asked this thing, do you think President Trump is real? I mean, is this an act? Because, hey, the guy has been in all these channels and TVs acting and saying, you're fired, somebody who's used to acting a lot, like I guess Ronald Reagan was. I mean, he was like literally an actor, B-class one at the time. But is this real or is this an act? And I'm like, I don't know. Time will show. Time will show. But I was wrong. Not only time will show. The one-third being persistent, having the conviction to see it through would. You get him, say this. This is big. This is great. This is positive. So far only in words, okay? So far only in words. But without us supplementing it, really pushing this, leading this, nothing will happen. You know it, I know it, most of us here, many of us, we know it. Because think about it. And here I'm gonna say, what is the smart thing the extreme left, the neoliberals, the New World Order people, the smartest thing they have been doing is this, okay? Now, some of you may agree, some of you may disagree with me, and let it discuss. It's okay if you disagree. Please present your counter arguments and inform me of what other points you have that says, oh, you know, maybe I'm wrong. I may be wrong on this. I don't think I am, but hey, prove me wrong if you can. Now, these people, the reason they have gotten this far is because even though their number is very little, actually compared to us, their number is so little. They are not this big force in number, they are big force in money and where they use their money. And I tell you, one strength and one smart thing they have done, and I have been watching them doing it, right? They put their money, these billionaires and their, you know, leaders and their force leaders, and whether it's Bill Gates or Soros, etc., into making it happen. It is them pouring this money, let's say George Soros with billion, 2 billion, 10 billion, $50 billion a year. Where are they pouring it? They are pouring it in the channels of influence because they know that their number is little tiny. Okay, there are a lot of wishy-washy people in the center. They are undecided, or they never have had opinion, or maybe they don't even count. Usually, really throughout the history, they have never counted. Then there is the 1/3. That's us, right? Theirs is much smaller than either faction. Okay. Well, what are they doing? What have they been doing? They take their money, these business people and their evil leaders, etc. They put the money into channels of influence. They are putting themselves in the position of really ruling and power. Media is dominated by who? And then the real question, why? Because they made it so. They made it their objective. CNN, NPR, Washington Post, New York Times, name it, every one of them. Even Fox is not representing the 1/3. Fox is like representing some people who pretend to be Republicans. So I'm not going to even get into Fox right now. Sometimes they have to maintain the appearance by putting tiny bit of real deal stuff there so they won't lose everybody. And that's all they do. The other factions, they haven't done this. They haven't concentrated, and nobody prevented them really. This extreme left, they have co-opted the entire mainstream media and 99.9% of the alternative media platforms. This is a smart information channels in their hands because they made it so. Because they put the money into their ideology, implementing their ideology. Same thing with Hollywood. You know, the movie industry. Go and look at them. The Goldstein, Goldbergs, all of them. Go look at them. You see 99.99999%, if not 100, probably is 100%, is under the same tiny little faction. The New World Order, extreme left, neoliberals, okay? So they have the Hollywood, they have the entire mainstream media and the biggest chunk of the alternative, so-called alternative platforms. Wow, that's powerful. Look at the publishing houses now. Take a look at the publishing houses. Take the top 5, the giant publishing houses. They are the ones who decide what gets to be published, what doesn't get to be published, what gets to be censored, what gets to be amplified and broadcast, right? Go look at them. Come to me and point at and show me one from any other side, whether it's the libertarian, whether it's the independents, whether it's the conservatives. Show me one big one. They've done it. Nobody prevented the right or the libertarian from doing it. I don't know why they're not doing it, and I'm going to get to that point, but I'm not done yet. So they have the publishing houses, they have the mainstream media, they have, of course, the social media channels, Twitter and the YouTube and the Facebook. And hey, for years we have been screaming, saying, look at this bias, look at this censorship. We have been good at the screaming and complaining, but what the heck have we done to create alternative platforms? What have we done? Nothing. We've only bitched about it, okay? Bitching about it is not going to get us anywhere, guys and girls, whatever. I don't want everybody here to say, she said guys, she didn't say girls. I don't like that kind of politically correct censorship. When I say look at people, or sometimes I say dude, don't make me go and say dude and dudettes, okay? You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to censor myself and worry about that and get small-minded like those people who are following the extreme left, okay? So that's just a little side note there. But nobody actually has prevented us and has kept us from going and creating the alternative to what we are complaining about. Mainstream media, Hollywood, publishing media industry, social media platforms, okay? Then why haven't we done it? And that's a question I want you to answer, because you know what? The other side, whether they're libertarian, conservatives, fake Republicans, whatever, independents, there are businessmen there. You don't have to be Bill Gates to, yeah, you may have to be Bill Gates to throw in $2 billion, but to throw in there 50,000 or 100,000 towards with 100 or thousands or 10,000 other business people, small to medium, and those people can do that from the right and the independents and the libertarians. Why haven't they done it? Why aren't they doing it? Is it because they're selfish? They want to have, instead of 3 Ferraris, 6 Ferraris, instead of 2 boats, they want to have 4 yachts. Is that the reason? Or is it because they believe, I'm so preoccupied with the business and I'm going to put it back, expand the business, and that's a good thing. I'm not against business. I'm not against capitalism or any of that. Why? Why the right, the libertarian, the independents, which includes business people, includes affluent people, why the affluent part on the other side is not doing their share to counter that evil force currently engaged against the coup, against the people, we the people, us. That is the question, and shouldn't that change, especially hastily, quickly, right now? I saw a beautiful, full of conviction, passionate people out there having a parade against COVID and for the Republican Party here in Naples, Florida. And among them, many, many wealthy people with the Ferraris and the Maseratis and the beautiful yachts. And, oh, good, express your sentiment, that's fine. Whether I agree with you or not, that's fine, that's good. But look at all the money you got. Together, million of you, 500,000 of you can challenge the Bill Gates and the Soros. We don't have to have one uber billionaire. We have hundreds, if not thousands of people engaged in business here. Mom and pop business, mid-sized business. Why aren't you, and I'm asking, together with us, look, we are 1/3 of the society, why aren't you working hard towards creating our media channels, ours, the one that represents our platform, which is based on Constitution and liberties? I'm not talking about these libertarian groups who come all the time and show you the pies and the charts and the graphs and say Keynesian economy versus that. That's boring. And you know what? It may be true. I'm not saying those are not factual. That's not gonna help us counter them with their CNN and NBC and Washington Post and New York Times and this publishing house and that Hollywood company and the Paramount. It's not going to. And it's going to actually help them succeed in their coup against us, against we the people. to sum it up, I know I may be sounding as someone who's being angry. I'm not angry. I am urgent. I am being urgent because a coup is in effect. We are already a bit late, but we are not too late, okay? And I am trying to ring the bells and say, if you know those people, I'm telling the business people I know, I say, it's time for you all together collectively. Create this pool and help get us set up our own alternative channel. It's not going to happen with some John Doe starting a blog site or Sibel Edmonds having a little Newsbud channel or the YouTube channel. Look what we are facing. Look at the other side. Look at the force. It's like going with tiny little gravel, tiny little stones against the guys with the tanks and the cannons and F-35 and the S-400s and all of them put together. Don't be laughable. It is time to put it in action. The independents, the libertarians, the real conservatives, all of you who consider yourself as part of the one-third who doesn't want to have mandatory vaccination, the one-third who doesn't want the big central government nullifying the states and say, we even gonna tell you how to raise your kids and we're gonna rule every aspect of your life. Okay, what even you do in your bedroom is our business. I know you're against it. I know you don't want it. I know you have had it all up to here. But come on, guys and ladies, put it in action, okay? Let me see, and please let me know, because there may be some foundations right now being poured for those. We need to accelerate it. We're going to make it faster. Please let me know, where has it been, that effort to make our mainstream media channels, okay, representing us, our social media platforms. We can buy, money can buy anything. Money can buy the top computer engineers and the programmers and the coding people. I can put the thing out. We can go ahead and say, we give you more money than NSA is giving you to F the Constitution. We're going to give you money more than NSA to come up with these codes and quickly, in an accelerated phase, have our own social media platform very quickly, put it in place, and you will be doing it to defend the Constitution, unlike NSA that is effing the Constitution. Very simple, and you will see how quickly you'll see the top coders, whether they are Microsoft-based, whether they are Linux, whether they are Mac, they're going to be pouring into these channels. They're going to get money, plus they're going to be able to feel proud that they are standing up for the Constitution. And we will have that social media platform in less than 6 months, and it will be booming. I guarantee you this. I guarantee you this, but where is the effort? I want to hear about the efforts of the one-third with their affluent, with their people who are right now, they can afford, set up those big, massive, powerful channels to go against the evil force currently engaged against the coup, against we the people. Thank you all. If you support this platform, this tiny little platform, independent platform, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, if you want to be part of this network I'm creating through Newsbud and Patreon, if you want to see more shows like this, more talk show like this, it may be so bad that you may come back and say, enough, shut up, we don't want to hear from you. And you know what? I will oblige, I will listen to you, and I will publish only through my communities at Newsbud and Patreon. I'm serious. Okay, let me know, because I'm being me, okay? It's brutally honest, not politically correct, not motivated by any partisanship, and not sponsored by any asshole, okay? I don't have any better way than this to describe it to you. I want to see us, we the one-third, to prevail. So if you like what you hear, if you can, during this hard period, tough time with unemployment hitting the tallest and the biggest ceiling and the roof in the history of this country, if you can, please donate whatever you can through my Patreon network there, whether it's $1 a month, whether it's $10 a month, or through membership through Newsbud, whatever you can, however you can, as much as you can. And I have right now a list of topics that I am dying to share with you and talk about. That can only be possible with you letting me know that, yes, you're with me, you want this, you're supporting it. So please take 10, 15 seconds, go to Patreon and do what you can. Thank you all. I'll be with you soon. This is Sibel Edmonds reporting from Florida, currently among the common sense states. Talk to you soon.